So usually when we talk about leadership advice, there's an expectation of corporate jargon, like synergy, spreadsheets, maybe a retreat with, trust falls.
Right, yeah. Highly sanitized and very safe.
Exactly. But then you open up certain ancient texts, and suddenly that corporate boardroom turns into this, well, a high-stakes geopolitical thriller.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking treason, defection, and strategic counterintelligence.
It's the absolute definition of ancient espionage.
Right. And that is exactly how today's source frames it. We're looking at a devotional entry from Pastor Chris's Rhapsody of Realities, specifically the May 19th entry titled, He Always Preserves His Purpose.
Yeah,
Honestly, the strategy here is ruthless. Okay, let's unpack this.
it really is ruthless. So the text uses this massive ancient family power struggle to make its point. You have King David and his son Absalom, who is actively trying to overthrow him.
Wait, his own son?
Yeah, his own son. But the real linchpin of this whole rebellion is a guy named Ahithophel.
Right, Ahithophel, he was David's revered advisor, right, and he flips.
Exactly. He defects to the son's side, which is just devastating. I mean, in the ancient world, an advisor of Ahithophel's caliber wasn't just some consultant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the text notes his advice was treated as if he practically spoke for God. So his defection is really what gives this rebellion its teeth.
Okay, so how does David react to that?
Well, David reacts by praying a very specific prayer. He asks the Lord to turn Ahithophel's counsel into foolishness.
Okay, wait, I'm stuck on this. David is supposed to be the divinely backed king here, right? So you'd expect the answer to that prayer to be, I don't know, a lightning bolt or an earthquake.
Right, some massive, obvious divine intervention.
Exactly. But the text doesn't go there. David essentially invents the mole. He meets this guy named Hushai the Archite on a mount and sends him straight into the enemy camp.
Yeah, and that's the exact pivot the devotional makes. It points out that the countermove wasn't a mystical event. It was a strategic human placement.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like an inside man in an espionage movie. Like, why use human spycraft instead of overwhelming divine force?
Well, God's answer showed up as a man positioned exactly where he needed to be. Hushai is sent in to pretend to be a loyal servant, specifically positioned to dismantle Ahithophel's advice from the inside.
Ahithophel was basically the algorithm feeding Absalom perfect data, and Hushai wasn't a firewall to stop the data.
No, he was a virus introduced directly into the source code to quietly corrupt the output.
Wow, that's such a good way to put it. So what does this all mean for the modern world? Like, how does the devotional map this onto, say, a modern CEO or politician today?
What's fascinating here is how the text views Hushai not just as a historical figure, but as an archetype. The source argues God counters satanic strategies by strategically positioning his own people to frustrate wicked plots.
So it's about a leader's cabinet.
Exactly. The text pivots directly to today's leaders, insisting that it matters deeply who has access to influence decisions. The people who control access filter the information.
The gatekeepers, basically.
Yes, the gatekeepers. The devotional urges readers to pray that national leaders recognize the modern Hushais, men and women positioned by the Spirit to champion truth and righteousness.
Because if you have an Ahithophel whispering in a leader's ear, you desperately need a Hushai to fracture that influence.
Right. Opposing plots aren't always stopped by public debate. Sometimes it's by these strategically positioned people working from the inside out.
It's wild to think that a 3,000-year-old family dispute is actually a masterclass in modern cabinet building. I mean, we've gone from ancient political rebellion to a timeless warning about the power of the inner circle.
It really reframes the mechanics of power, doesn't it? It's not just about who occupies the big chair.
No, it's about the invisible architecture of advice surrounding them. The source heavily emphasizes the impact of a strategically placed advisor.
Almost more than the leader themselves, honestly.
Which makes you wonder, when you look at the highest levels of modern leadership, how much of history is actually shaped by the person sitting visibly on the throne versus the unrecognized advisor quietly guiding their hand? Thank you so much for joining us, Vin, to today's material. We appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you on the next one.
We trust you were blessed by this episode. To gain unlimited access to Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris, please download the Rhapsody app using the link myapp.rhapsodyofrealities.org. God bless you.